Beloved chosen one, listen carefully. This moment is not coincidence. Heaven has pressed pause on everything around you so you could hear these words. They set the perfect trap for you. They smiled while designing it. They studied your patterns, your kindness, your hope. They waited until you were tired, until your guard was low, until the storm had worn your faith thin. But what they did not see was that your spirit had already been fortified by divine wisdom. You were never walking blind. You were being guided. It was never just people plotting, it was principalities. Spiritual powers cloaked in charm and familiarity. You felt the tension long before you could explain it. The sudden heaviness in the room. The strange silence after you spoke truth. The conversations that changed when you entered these were not coincidences. You were walking through a web carefully spun to make you doubt yourself. They wanted your confidence fractured, your purpose blurred, your voice silenced. But the Spirit of God whispered to your heart before their plan could tighten around you. A subtle nudge, step back, a sudden urge to withdraw. The message came in fragments, dreams, discomfort, delay, and you listened. You didn't even understand why you said no. But heaven smiled when you did. You avoided what others thought was opportunity. Yet in truth it was a snare disguised as favor. They called you paranoid, ungrateful, too cautious. But the truth was this: you saw through the illusion. Your discernment cut through their deception like lightning through fog. That clarity wasn't human, it was divine. Heaven sharpened your vision through every heartbreak, every betrayal, every lonely night. You became spiritually unblinded. Now they are confused. They whisper, "How did you know?" They are furious because the trap cost them time, energy, and pride, and still failed. You weren't supposed to survive it, let alone rise stronger. But you did, because divine protection surrounded you like fire. You must understand the trap wasn't proof of your weakness, it was proof of your value. Darkness never wastes time on those who pose no threat. The fact that you were targeted means heaven marked you first. You are not ordinary, and the enemy knows it. Every storm, every snare, every betrayal was evidence of your significance in the spiritual realm. Remember this: God didn't show you everything at once. He revealed only what your spirit could handle. The small warning signs, the flickers of truth, were breadcrumbs of mercy leading you out of danger. Even the discomfort that made you pull away was grace in disguise. Heaven's hand was upon you the entire time. There will come a day soon when you'll look back and realize how many silent interventions saved you. A phone call delayed your step. A closed door redirected your path. A sudden unease stopped your agreement. Those weren't coincidences. Those were angels rerouting your destiny. Now the atmosphere around you shifts. The same people who plotted are unsettled by your peace. They can't comprehend why what should have broken you made you radiant instead. You carry a new authority, the kind that makes hidden motives surface without a word. Every environment feels you before you speak. Every dark plan trembles before it begins. You are entering a season where traps no longer work, because discernment lives inside you. You won't need to run from deception, it will expose itself in your presence. This is what happens when a chosen one learns to see through spiritual eyes. You no longer react, you discern, decide, and dominate. Lift your head. Chosen one. The storm didn't crush you, it crowned you. The betrayal didn't end you, it educated you. The enemy's fury is proof of your breakthrough. Walk forward with that calm confidence, knowing heaven is still rewriting outcomes in your favor. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." They formed it, but it didn't prosper. They planned it, but it collapsed. You were supposed to fall, but instead you rose, radiant and untouchable. The trap became your testimony. Now, if this word resonates in your spirit, if you know heaven is confirming something inside you, then act in faith. Show the unseen realm that you recognize divine truth when you hear it. Like this message. Share it so others awaken before the snare tightens. And subscribe so you never miss another word crafted for the chosen. And before you scroll, take this prophetic step. Comment the number 777 below as a declaration that every trap set against you is being reversed, and every hidden plot is now exposed by the light of God. They thought your silence meant defeat, but heaven was sharpening your sword in stillness. What looked like retreat was divine recalibration. Now, every step you take carries thunder. The same hands that tried to bind you will one day applaud you. For what they meant for harm became your platform of glory, proof that light always wins. You noticed it first in their eyes, the shift. Subtle but sharp. The ones who once celebrated your smallest victories began to study you with an edge. Their smiles still appeared warm, their words still soft. But something beneath had changed. You felt it, though you tried to ignore it. You told yourself it was just your imagination. But the truth was, the spirit within you was sounding an alarm. The shadow behind the smiles was growing darker. There was a time you shared everything, your hopes, your ideas, your prayers. You believed that loyalty would be mirrored, that love would be returned in kind. Yet even as you opened your heart, theirs was calculating. They weren't clapping out of joy, they were clapping to measure your rhythm. The sound of their applause disguised their jealousy. Every compliment hid a quiet wish to see you stumble. Chosen one, you must know this discernment is not paranoia. It is wisdom born from the spirit of truth. There are people who attach themselves to your light, not to nurture it, but to siphon it. They watch you closely, not to learn, but to locate your weakness. Some smile while secretly collecting your tears, using them as fuel for their own comfort. But God saw, even when you did not. Heaven recorded every conversation spoken behind your back. They set the stage, so carefully, praise at first, pressure later. They wanted your guard down so that when they struck, the wound would be deep. Their whispers were crafted like weapons, their kindness a disguise. But when the moment of betrayal arrived, you didn't crumble. The same spirit that warned you before whispered again, "Be still, watch, and do not react." So you did. You stayed quiet, and heaven fought for you. The shadow behind their smiles was exposed. One by one, masks began to fall. Circumstances shifted. Secrets surfaced. The truth came out, not by your words, but by divine orchestration. And when the revelation came, it didn't destroy you. It set you free. You finally understood why you had been feeling the unease, why you couldn't find rest around certain faces. You were never meant to blend with them. Their hearts were aligned with agendas that could not coexist with your purpose. Beloved, understand this truth. Not everyone who sits with you is sent by God. Some are sent to study your anointing so they can imitate it, weaken it, or destroy it. The enemy often comes dressed in familiarity, speaking the language of friendship. But every smile is not safety, and every embrace is not affection. You must guard your peace as you would guard a treasure chest, because peace is the doorway where revelation enters. Now, when you look back, you see the pattern clearly. Every betrayal had a rhythm, every wound had a purpose. It wasn't random. Heaven allowed it so your discernment could mature. You learned to read energy, not words, to feel truth, not just hear it. Your sensitivity became your protection. The very sensitivity they mocked became the sword that cuts through deception today. Do not resent them. Chosen one, their betrayal only revealed what was hiding all along. The mask needed to fall so you could stop wasting oil on what was never meant to carry your flame. The exposure was not punishment, it was mercy. God was removing counterfeits before they could contaminate your next elevation. Some still linger at a distance, trying to figure out how you knew. They replay moments, searching for the weakness they couldn't exploit. They are unsettled because your peace no longer includes them. You no longer react to their energy. You outgrew it. The silence that once hurt you has now become your strength. You no longer need validation, applause, or agreement. Heaven's approval is enough. Chosen one. The shadow behind the smiles was not meant to destroy your faith in people. It was meant to deepen your faith in God. You learned that human loyalty is fragile, but divine loyalty is eternal. And now, the Spirit whispers again, not in warning, but in affirmation. You see clearly now. Move forward. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 16, "Behold, I send you out as sheep among wolves, therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Wisdom has entered your spirit. Discernment has become your armor. You no longer walk blind into conversations, opportunities, or connections. You test the spirit behind every smile, not with suspicion, but with peace. And because of that, you are untouchable. The same eyes that once watched to betray you now watch in silence. Realizing they can no longer reach you, you have ascended beyond manipulation. The light within you reveals every hidden shadow before it even approaches. What once fooled you now fuels you. And so you walk forward still kind, still compassionate, but guarded by wisdom and guided by heaven. The smiles no longer deceive you. Your spirit discerns truth before words form. Every hidden motive is now light to you, and peace guards your path like a flaming wall. The moment you felt the sting of betrayal, you thought it was personal, but it was never just about people. What you faced was not a clash of personalities, but a collision of kingdoms. You were standing between realms, chosen to expose the unseen. What looked like gossip, slander, or manipulation was actually a manifestation of spiritual warfare. The enemy saw what you could not see, yet the shift in your spirit, the growth in your anointing, the activation of your purpose. The attack was not random, it was a reaction. Darkness always reacts violently when light begins to expand. And you, chosen one, are not merely light. You are a disruptor of darkness. You were not fighting opinions. You were confronting ancient patterns designed to silence voices like yours. every confusion, every betrayal, every sudden storm was an attempt to drain your spiritual focus. They wanted you tired, emotionally reactive, questioning your calling. Because if the enemy can't defeat you outright, he'll distract you until you destroy yourself. But heaven intervened. The Spirit of God began to whisper reminders into your weary heart. This is not flesh and blood. You are not crazy. You are not alone. Slowly, you began to see it, the invisible strings behind visible chaos. You recognized how emotions were being used as bait, how circumstances were being orchestrated to provoke you. That recognition was not ordinary insight, it was divine revelation. Beloved, the setup was spiritual. When you prayed harder and suddenly the pressure increased, that was confirmation you were hitting the right target. You weren't losing your mind, you were gaining clarity. The resistance was proof of impact. Hell does not react to silence, it trembles at authority. There were nights you cried, thinking you were losing everything, but in truth, you were shedding what could not survive your next dimension. The shaking wasn't punishment, it was purification. Heaven was separating you from everything attached to your old identity, so you could carry a new mantle without contamination. Chosen one. Understand this when you walk in divine calling. Attacks become indicators, not deterrents. Every storm signals proximity to breakthrough. The enemy fights hardest where your greatest influence lies. If you had no power, you would have no warfare. The intensity of your battle is the measurement of your anointing. You've been marked since birth, even before you knew your name. Darkness recognized your light. Every setback, every misunderstanding, every rejection was an attempt to delay your realization of who you truly are. But you're awake now. You see the pattern. You no longer fight shadows, you command them to flee. It was proclaimed in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." That verse isn't theory, it's your reality. Fear is not your portion. Confusion is not your inheritance. You've been equipped with divine clarity. Your mind is sound. Your heart is guarded. Your power is active. When darkness whispers lies, you no longer argue, you declare truth. And now, the enemy grows frustrated. The same tactics that once worked no longer move you. You no longer over-explain, over-apologize, or overextend. You've learned that discernment often looks like silence. The enemy expected reaction, but your calm is your warfare. Every time you hold your peace, you starve chaos of attention. The setup was spiritual, but so was your victory. You didn't just survive manipulation, you mastered perception. You can now identify energy before it manifests. You can sense deception before it speaks. You are becoming what darkness fears most, a believer who sees beyond appearances. Do you feel that quiet assurance in your chest right now? That peace is confirmation. Heaven is telling you, you passed the test. The spiritual setup didn't stop you, it strengthened you. The very battle meant to break you has made you dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. Now, chosen one, take this moment and seal it in faith. Write this in the comments below. Comment, "I see clearly." Because when you declare those 3 words, you are not just typing, you are testifying. You are proclaiming that the veil has lifted, that manipulation no longer blinds you. you are affirming before heaven and hell that your discernment has been activated. And no lie, no trap, no counterfeit connection will deceive you again. This is your declaration of victory, your signal to the unseen realm that you are awake, alert, and unafraid. Stand firm now. The setup failed. The trap collapsed. The very battle that was meant to drain you has become your training ground. You walk differently now, slower to speak, quicker to perceive. Unshaken by the schemes of darkness, you see through what others are blinded by. And this is only the beginning. When you write, I see clearly. You're declaring spiritual maturity, acknowledging that your vision is purified, your discernment sharpened, and deception can no longer disguise itself around you. Each word is a sword. Every letter cuts through confusion. It is not just a comment, it's a covenant between your spirit and divine truth. There was a moment, a quiet, almost invisible second, when everything inside you shifted. You couldn't explain it. But suddenly, what had once confused you now appeared in perfect clarity. The air felt different, your spirit lighter, your thoughts sharper. It wasn't logic, it was revelation. Heaven had opened your eyes. That was the moment you saw it, the hidden motives, the silent strategies, the spiritual trap designed to keep you bound. Chosen one. That moment was sacred. It wasn't random insight or clever deduction, it was divine download. The same spirit that hovered over creation in Genesis hovered over your understanding and whispered, "Now." See, in that instant, illusions shattered. Every false connection, every manipulative tone, every subtle lie lost its grip. You began to discern the difference between appearance and intention. You saw beyond words into the weight of spirit behind them. You realized that discernment isn't suspicion, it's light. It doesn't accuse, it reveals. It's the gentle but unstoppable clarity of God, illuminating what darkness hoped to hide. You saw the patterns of manipulation, not through bitterness, but through wisdom. The false opportunities, the emotional games, the flattery that once drew you in, they suddenly appeared transparent. The very things that used to pull your emotions no longer moved you. That was the miracle: peace instead of panic, clarity instead of confusion. When you saw it, heaven rejoiced, because seeing truth is the first step toward freedom. Many remain trapped not because they are weak, but because they are blind. But the scales have fallen from your eyes. You no longer live reacting to deception, you live responding to revelation. That shift marks the difference between the called and the chosen. And the moment you saw it, something in the atmosphere changed. The enemy lost access. His plans relied on your ignorance. And once your understanding expanded, the trap became useless. What was meant to ensnare you became exposed under the brilliance of your discernment. You didn't even have to fight. Exposure itself was victory. Now, when deceit approaches, you sense it instantly. The tone, the timing, the feeling, it all becomes obvious. You don't overthink it, you just know. That's spiritual maturity. The Holy Spirit whispers before the situation unfolds, and your spirit aligns with the warning. The moment you saw through manipulation, the enemy knew he could never use the same weapon again. You may not realize it yet, but this clarity was purchased through your pain. Every time someone lied, used, or misunderstood you, your discernment grew sharper. Your tears were the ink heaven used to write wisdom upon your spirit. You thought you were breaking, but God was building an internal radar, one that now detects deception before it enters your atmosphere. Chosen one. Seeing truth can be painful. There's grief in realizing who was never truly for you. Sorrow in understanding how deeply deception can wear a friendly face. But do not let sadness overshadow revelation, for with every unveiling comes empowerment. You are no longer blind, you are entrusted with sight. Do you remember that moment when peace suddenly replaced anxiety? When your intuition told you to step back from someone or something, and later you discovered why? That was divine foresight in action. That was heaven protecting your destiny. You didn't avoid disaster by coincidence. You obeyed an unseen warning. You are learning that obedience to intuition is obedience to God when it's guided by the Spirit of truth. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 25, verse 15, "My eyes are ever on the Lord, for only He will release my feet from the snare." That is exactly what happened to you. Your eyes turned toward the Lord, and He released you. He didn't just pull you out of the snare, He gave you vision to never step into another. That is the blessing of discernment. It doesn't just save you once, it keeps you safe continually. From that day forward, your spirit began to interpret life differently. You stopped asking, "Why did they do this to me?" and started asking, "What was heaven trying to show me?" You understood that pain itself was a teacher. The very wound the enemy used to weaken you became the window through which you now see truth. And now, clarity has become your quiet power. You don't need to announce what you know or prove who you are. Light doesn't argue with darkness, it simply shines. You walk with grace, not vengeance. You forgive, but you never forget the lesson. You love, but you no longer give access recklessly. You have learned the sacred art of seeing. That is what it means to awaken in spirit. You didn't just recognize the trap, you transcended it. And now, every step you take is watched by heaven with pride, for you have crossed from blindness into divine perception. Now, every glance, every pause, every silence carries wisdom. You no longer stumble through shadows, you walk as light itself. Heaven smiles, knowing you finally see as you were always meant to. While you were still wondering why things went wrong, heaven was already at work, rerouting every path the enemy tried to destroy. You see, what they built to break you only became the ground God used to raise you higher. Every snare, every rumor, every closed door, it was part of the divine architecture of your becoming. Chosen one. Heaven was never late. While you cried, angels were rethreading your timeline. Every delay you thought was punishment was actually protection. Every rejection was redirection. Every no you faced was a hidden yes from God in disguise. You didn't fall out of grace, you fell right into guidance. Even when you didn't understand, the unseen realm was aligning people, moments, and miracles to ensure your survival. The trap they built became your training ground. The wound they left became the opening where light entered. And while they whispered against you, heaven whispered for you. When your name was misused, God used your name to open doors in unseen rooms. While others were planning to bury you, heaven was planting you. And now, you are blooming right where they thought you would break. You see, divine intervention is rarely dramatic, it's often silent. The greatest miracles are the ones that happen quietly, The phone call that didn't connect. The meeting that got postponed. The job that turned you down. You didn't know it then, but every delay was heaven buying time to realign you with purpose. You've been covered all along. Even in the seasons where you thought heaven was silent, the hand of God was active. You were being hidden, not forgotten, protected, not rejected. The trap they designed was flipped mid-air, and what was meant to catch you ended up catching them in their own net. Now, look at you, still standing, still breathing, still believing. Every scar on your soul is now a story of divine reversal. You are living proof that no weapon formed against the chosen ever prospers. We find this truth written in the book of Genesis, chapter 50, verse 20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. That's your story, isn't it? They intended harm, but heaven turned it into harvest. They meant defeat, but God called it development. You didn't just escape the trap, you emerged from it refined, radiant, and ready. And now, as your spirit steadies in this truth, I want you to take a deep breath. Feel how peace settles differently now. That's the mark of someone who has been rescued by grace. You're no longer driven by fear, you're led by faith. If these words have found your heart, let them flow forward, like this message, as if you're lighting a small candle in the dark, one flame that can guide another soul home. Share it like you're releasing a dove into the wind, carrying hope farther than your voice can reach. And subscribe so you can stay close to this river of truth, because every new word is another drop of living water meant for you. And if ever your heart feels stirred to give, do it the way seeds surrender themselves to soil, not because they're asked to, but because they know there's life waiting beneath the surface. Your donation isn't payment, it's partnership. It's your way of saying, let this light keep shining for those still finding their way. If all you have today is your prayer, your time, or your silent amen, know that it is already enough. Every click, every whisper, every small act of faith is a brushstroke painting light across someone else's darkness. You are part of something sacred now. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were guided. So stay connected, stay aligned, stay open. Heaven is still speaking, and your journey is still unfolding, because the same God who turned the trap into triumph is not finished yet. There are more reversals ahead, more miracles waiting behind moments that look like mistakes. Keep your heart soft, your eyes lifted, and your faith steady. The best chapters of your story haven't even begun to unfold. The storms that once frightened you now sound like rhythm to your spirit. You've learned that thunder only announces change, and lightning only reveals truth faster. Every trial becomes melody. Every scar becomes instrument. And heaven conducts your life like a divine symphony. No darkness can silence. Even in silence, you're not waiting, you're ripening. Every unseen prayer becomes oil. Every quiet act of faith becomes fragrance rising to God. You are no longer the seed buried. You are the root awakening. Heaven watches your patience like art unfolding in time's perfect brushstroke. Remember this always. Chosen one, light doesn't rush, it reigns. You no longer chase validation, you carry revelation. The trap became testimony. The wound became wisdom. and the pain became prophecy. Wherever you walk, grace recognizes you, and every closed door now opens at your presence. They saw that their plan failed. The whispers turned to silence. The silence turned to frustration. And now that frustration burns like fire in their bones. You were supposed to fall, to beg, to fade, but you didn't. You rose quietly, gracefully, with a peace they can't comprehend. And now, their fury ignites. Chosen one. It's not you they truly hate. It's what you survived. It's the strength they can't imitate, the calm they can't counterfeit, the favor they can't earn. You moved through the storm they thought would drown you. And instead of breaking, you became radiant. Your stillness is your revenge. You've noticed it, haven't you? The strange tension in the air, the uneasy glances, the sudden shift in how they speak your name. It's not paranoia. It's spiritual discomfort. Darkness always trembles when divine resilience walks in the room. They thought you'd lose your light, but your glow only grew brighter. Their fury is confirmation. When your peace irritates people who once pretended to care, it's proof that you're no longer operating at their level. The same mouths that once cursed you now stutter in confusion because every attack has turned into your advancement. Every closed door became a crown. Every rejection became revelation. But listen, don't gloat. You don't need to prove them wrong. Your very existence, your joy, your survival is proof enough. Heaven is already handling what your hands cannot. While they plot, God prepares. While they gossip, God guards. And while they rage, you rise. The Spirit reminds you now, do not fear their fury, for it burns out quickly. Flames that rise in envy always consume their own source. Their anger is not a threat. It's a prophecy fulfilled. They cannot touch what heaven has sealed. Remember how many nights you cried, asking why you thought you were losing everything. But you weren't losing, you were being positioned. Every tear became divine currency, traded for strength in realms unseen. You were in training all along. Now the very ones who laughed at you must watch as God elevates you in plain sight. But you won't mock them. You'll bless them. And in doing so, you'll reveal the true nature of a chosen one, grace under attack, compassion under pressure. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 37, verse 7. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. That's what you've done, even without realizing it. You waited when others rushed. You prayed when others plotted. You trusted when others tried to take matters into their own hands. And now, your patience is producing harvest. Your endurance is announcing promotion. You don't have to defend your name, God already cleared it, in realms where your reputation truly matters. Those who tried to expose you are now exposed by their own bitterness. Their fury is evidence that your peace is working. It disarms them. It confuses them, because they can't understand how you can bless those who cursed you. The truth is, the fury of others is fuel for your fire. It reminds you that you're progressing, that heaven's hand is visible on your life. Don't fight it. Flow through it. You are untouchable, not because you are hidden, but because you are anointed. Look closely every time they mention your name. Heaven rewrites another victory. Every rumor becomes a seed of recognition. Every insult becomes an advertisement for your resilience. You're not just enduring, you're evolving. So, let them watch. Let them question. Let them whisper. You keep walking in quiet authority. Because soon, the same mouths that mocked you will have to acknowledge the grace on your life. Not because you shouted louder, but because you stayed grounded longer. And when this message finds you, yes, you reading these words right now, know that this moment is prophetic. Heaven is confirming that your peace has become your protection. The very calm they called weakness is your weapon. Now, take this as your spiritual marker. A prophetic act of agreement. Comment the number 222 below. When you type 222, you are declaring divine alignment, harmony, and confirmation. It represents heaven and earth agreeing over your next chapter. You are speaking into existence that everything is falling into place exactly as it should. You're not late, you're in rhythm with destiny. 222 is heaven's way of saying peace, promise, and purpose are aligning. When you comment it, you're not engaging a post, you're engaging prophecy. You are testifying, I am in divine order. My steps are guided. My peace is proof of protection. Let that number be your seal today. Let it echo through the unseen, announcing that every storm that once confused you now confirms your calling. You are walking in perfect timing, chosen and covered, calm and crowned. When you comment 222, you're not just typing, you're declaring balance restored, heaven's order established, and your heart synchronized with divine timing. It is agreement between your spirit and God's perfect alignment. The moment the light began to grow inside you, everything around you started to react. It wasn't your imagination, something shifted in the atmosphere. Conversations changed. People grew distant. Situations that once felt peaceful suddenly felt heavy. It wasn't because you did something wrong, it was because you started reflecting truth too clearly. Your very presence became a mirror. And mirrors make people face themselves. Chosen one. You carry something rare clarity that reveals what others try to conceal. You don't have to speak for people to feel it. Your energy unmasks motives. Your silence exposes intentions. Your kindness unsettles deceit. When you walk into a room, the light inside you gently demands that everything false either transform or retreat. That's not arrogance, it's spiritual authority. This is why some pull away when they once clung to you. It's not rejection, it's reaction. They can't stand to see their reflection in your purity. Your growth revealed their stagnation. Your forgiveness exposed their guilt. The peace you fought for now speaks louder than their excuses. You became a living testimony. And testimony makes pretenders tremble. There is something divine about the way light works. It doesn't have to try, it just shines. And you, without even realizing it, have become a walking revelation. Where you go, conviction follows. You might wonder why tension seems to follow you too. But it's not because you're cursed, it's because you are a carrier of conviction. Every word you speak carries weight now. The spirit within you uses your presence to whisper truth into hearts that have avoided it for years. You may not hear it, but your aura speaks. You carry light. And light always calls out shadow. Sometimes that call sounds like love, other times it feels like exposure. And while it might hurt to see others distance themselves, remember, light doesn't lose value because it offends darkness. A candle doesn't apologize for shining in a cave. It just continues to burn until every hidden corner is revealed. You are that candle, and your flame is holy. There's a beauty in the discomfort you cause, not because you want people to feel small, but because your light reminds them of what they abandoned: the truth, the integrity, the grace they once carried. They see in you what they lost in themselves. And sometimes, instead of being inspired, they become angry, not at you, but at the reflection you awaken in them. Chosen one. This is why your journey feels lonely at times. You are not meant to be universally accepted. You are meant to be divinely effective. God never called you to fit in. He called you to expose what hides in shadows. That's not cruelty, that's cleansing. You are heaven's mirror on earth. There's power in the way you hold space now. People can't pretend near you anymore. They find themselves telling the truth without knowing why. Their hearts open. Their masks slip. Their emotions surface. That's not manipulation, it's ministry. You carry an atmosphere of honesty that even silence can't resist. But be gentle, beloved. Not everyone can handle their own reflection yet. Some will run from your light, not because they hate you, but because they're not ready to meet themselves. And that's okay. Your job is not to chase, but to remain consistent, to stay luminous, even when others retreat into shadow. As the prophet Jeremiah once wrote in the sacred text, "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" Only light can reveal the answer to that question. And you, by divine design, are one of heaven's chosen lights. You carry discernment that sees beyond smiles and hears truth beneath tone. You don't have to accuse or expose. Simply being authentic is exposure enough. Understand this: your discernment is not a burden, it's a blessing. It protects you from false peace, fake love, and hidden agendas. It might isolate you, but it also elevates you. The higher your calling, the fewer voices can join the journey. The mirror you carry will sometimes break illusions in others. They might call you too intense, too deep, too spiritual. But what they're really saying is that your light disrupts their comfort. Don't dim yourself to ease their shadows. Your calling is to shine until conviction becomes transformation. You are not their enemy, you are their awakening. When your presence makes someone uncomfortable, don't take it personally, take it prophetically. It means your light is working. Heaven doesn't send you to impress. Heaven sends you to illuminate. And every time someone walks away because your truth was too bright, remember, those who can stand under your light are the ones meant to walk beside you. The rest were only passing through, reflecting what they needed to see before they could grow. So, hold your mirror high. Keep reflecting love, grace, and truth, even when others flinch. Because one day, the same ones who ran from your light will remember it when their own darkness becomes unbearable. And when they do, they'll find that your glow never faded, it only waited. There comes a point when heaven turns the tables. What was once against you begins to work for you. Every lie becomes leverage. Every betrayal becomes blueprint. And every setback becomes stage. You stand in the middle of divine reversal, the kind of turnaround that makes even your enemies pause and whisper, "Surely, God is with them." Chosen one. The turning of tables isn't always loud. Sometimes it starts in silence. The same doors that shut in your face now reopen softly, without announcement. The same voices that once mocked you now speak your name with respect. The same paths that rejected your footsteps now seem to make way for your presence. This is what happens when God Himself intervenes. What they meant to use against you, heaven now uses for your elevation. You don't have to force vindication, it unfolds naturally, like dawn breaking after a long night. Divine justice is subtle but unstoppable. The same soil they buried you in has become the ground from which you bloom. Think back, beloved, to the moments when it felt like everything was slipping away. You were misunderstood, misrepresented, and mistreated. Yet, through every loss, God was writing lines of redemption. The script you thought ended in tragedy was only a prelude to testimony. Every unfair situation became evidence for the case heaven was building in your favor. When the tables turn, it's not revenge, it's revelation. God doesn't humiliate your enemies, He educates them. He shows them that His favor cannot be fabricated, that His covering cannot be counterfeited. The very people who once saw you as fragile now see you as fortified. The same tongues that lied now confess truth, even if only in silence. There is beauty in divine reversal. It humbles the proud and restores the pure. You never had to scheme or shout, you just had to endure. Patience became your power. Forgiveness became your fortress. You learned to stay quiet while heaven rearranged the board. And now, the pit they dug for you has become their mirror. They see their own motives reflected in the hole they made. You don't rejoice in their downfall, you pray for their awakening. That's what separates the chosen from the common. You don't gloat when justice arrives, you bow, because you understand mercy was extended to you too. Every time God flips the tables, He also flips perspective. You begin to see that what once looked like loss was actually preparation. The betrayal taught boundaries. The rejection birthed redirection. The silence built spiritual stamina. Nothing was wasted. Every detail was designed for destiny. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus. Chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. You lived that verse without realizing it. You stopped arguing. You stopped explaining. You let silence become your defense. And in that stillness, heaven moved. God fought battles you never even saw. He shielded your name in rooms you never entered. He silenced voices that never deserved your attention. This is why peace followed you after the storm. You didn't win by force, you won by faith. Your strength wasn't in retaliation, it was in restraint. Every time you refused to retaliate, you gave heaven permission to act. And now, the results are undeniable. Behold the irony of grace. The same ones who tried to block your path will have to walk on roads your faith built. The same hands that threw stones will need the shelter you created. And when they do, you will welcome them not with pride, but with peace, because you understand that divine justice is not destruction, it's transformation. Chosen one, never forget when tables turn. It's not about proving who was right. It's about revealing who remained righteous. God didn't elevate you to embarrass them. He elevated you to enlighten them. You were always meant to show what redemption looks like in human form. So now, as you stand on the other side of heartbreak, take a moment to recognize the sacred symmetry of God's plan. The story that began with betrayal ends in balance. What was stolen is restored. What was lost returns multiplied. This is not luck. This is divine strategy. The storm was a setup. The struggle was a shaping. And the stillness was a sign. You are walking proof that no plot of darkness can outwrite the pen of God. The tables have turned. Beloved, but don't stop at victory. Use your voice now to build bridges where others burned them. Let your success speak gently. Let your peace preach silently. For when heaven turns the tables, it doesn't just lift you, it resets the entire room. You are standing where pain once buried you, but now the ground breathes life beneath your feet. What was once a grave has become your garden of glory. The tables didn't just turn, they transformed. Every broken piece rearranged into purpose. Every loss returned as wisdom. Every scar now glows like prophecy fulfilled. There's a shift happening inside you. Deeper than emotion. Quieter than words. It's the awakening of authority, the voice of heaven beginning to speak through you. You've always had power, but pain purified it. Now, your words no longer come from hurt, they come from holiness. Every syllable you release carries weight, because it is backed by truth. Chosen one, this is the moment you understand that your voice is not ordinary. It was shaped in silence, forged through tears, and strengthened by faith. God didn't just give you a voice to speak, He gave you a voice to shift atmospheres. Every time you open your mouth in obedience, something invisible moves. You've noticed it, haven't you? When you speak peace, storms quiet. When you speak truth, confusion ends. When you speak blessing, healing begins. It's not coincidence, it's confirmation. The Creator now speaks through creation. You are His echo in the earth. There was a time when you doubted yourself, when you silenced your own words because others made you feel small. But every attempt to silence you only refined your sound. They didn't realize that in trying to mute you, they taught you to listen to heaven. And when heaven speaks, the earth must respond. Chosen one, this new level of discernment and authority is not for applause, it's for alignment. You carry the same creative breath that once said, "Let there be light." That breath lives inside you. That means your words can call order out of chaos and hope out of despair. When you speak, you are not just communicating, you are creating. So, speak intentionally. Speak with grace, with clarity, with power. Don't waste words on arguments or doubt. Let your sentences be seeds that grow miracles. Every time you choose silence over gossip or faith over fear, you are shaping the spiritual weather around you. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 13, "It is written, I believed, therefore I have spoken." Since we have that same spirit of faith, we also believe and therefore speak. That is your mandate, to believe boldly, to speak faithfully, and to watch heaven back your voice with evidence. Your declarations are not empty, they are contracts signed in spirit. When you say, "I am free," chains fall. When you say, "Peace be still," storms obey. Your voice has become a weapon dressed in worship. You are now a vessel for truth. When you speak, the Holy Spirit translates your pain into prophecy. Even your sighs carry sound in heaven. Every word you utter from sincerity is recorded as worship. Every prayer, even the silent one, echoes through eternity. Understand this, not everyone will celebrate your voice. Some will misinterpret it, Others will resist it, but never water down truth to keep false peace. Your calling is not to please, it is to proclaim. You carry sound waves that shake complacency and awaken slumbering souls. There will be days when your words cut through lies and make others uncomfortable. Don't apologize. Light always feels harsh to eyes adjusted to darkness. Speak anyway. Heaven didn't choose you for comfort, it chose you for clarity. Now, take a deep breath and recognize this sacred truth. Your voice is not just a sound, it's a sign. It announces that the light has found a body to dwell in. Every word you speak from love multiplies light in the world. And in this moment, as heaven confirms your authority, I want you to anchor it in faith. Let the unseen realm hear your agreement. Write this simple declaration below. Comment, "I speak life." Because when you write those 3 words, you're not just typing, you're activating. You're declaring that every word from your mouth will now carry resurrection power. That your conversations will heal, not harm. That your tone will lift, not crush. It's your promise to heaven that you will use your voice as a vessel, not a weapon. From this day forward, speak with the awareness that angels move when you do, that heaven leans in when you whisper truth. You are no longer a victim of noise, you are a conductor of divine sound. The world is listening, even if it doesn't know it yet. So speak. Chosen one, softly when guided, boldly when commanded, always with love, always with purpose. Your voice is not just your gift, it's God's reminder to the earth that light still speaks. When you comment, "I speak life," you're proclaiming more than positivity, you're releasing prophecy. Those words carry authority. They tell heaven that your tongue now belongs to truth, not trauma, to purpose, not pain. Every time you declare, "I speak life," you shift the atmosphere around you. Depression loses grip. Doubt loses volume. It's not just something you say, it's something you become. Your words transform from reaction into creation, building peace wherever they land. So write it, believe it, live it. Let "I speak life" become your morning anthem and your midnight vow. Speak healing into your future, light into your path, and hope into every silent corner of your soul. When you walk in this kind of authority, chosen one, life no longer happens to you, it flows with you. What once felt random now feels orchestrated. The same roads that wounded you now welcome you. The storms that tried to drown you now wash you clean. You are not just surviving anymore, you are glowing from within. Calm like fire that knows its purpose. The light in you has become steady. It doesn't flicker to impress anyone, it simply burns. Constant and quiet. And because of that, the world begins to notice. Some see hope in you. Others see conviction, but heaven sees fulfillment. You have become the living evidence that endurance births elegance, that faith can turn ashes into artistry. There was a time when you questioned if you would ever be whole again. You stood in the middle of ruins, staring at what was lost, asking God, "Why me?" But now you stand in restoration, whispering, "Thank you." Every tear has watered something. Every wound has become a window for light. Chosen one, heaven never wastes pain. What broke you has become your ministry. What silenced you has become your song. You are walking proof that divine hands can make mosaics from shattered glass. And when people look at you now, They don't just see survival, they see beauty rebuilt by grace. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. That's the exchange happening within you right now. The ashes are lifting, the oil is flowing, and joy is beginning to settle into your bones. You're stepping into a season where peace feels natural, where gratitude feels effortless, where your voice no longer trembles when you speak truth. And as this peace overflows, something beautiful begins to happen. It touches others. Your light becomes contagious. Someone who hears your story starts to believe they can heal too. That's the quiet miracle of divine transformation. Your survival inspires salvation in another soul. So, if these words touch something sacred in you, let them move gently through your heart. If they remind you of your own rising, consider this moment as a ripple of light. When you it's as if you're lighting a small lantern in the dark, one that guides another wanderer home. When you share, it's like opening a window, letting a breeze of hope flow where air once felt heavy. When you subscribe, you're not joining a channel, you're joining a current of truth that keeps this river of messages alive. And if ever your spirit stirs to give, do it the way rain returns to the ocean, not out of duty, but out of belonging. Giving is never a demand here, it's a dance of gratitude. It's saying, I have received light, and I want this light to reach farther. Every offering, whether a small drop or a flowing stream, becomes part of the tide that carries hope to those still waiting for dawn. Maybe today you don't have anything to give but your attention, your prayer, or your heart, and that is more than enough. Light isn't measured by amount, it's measured by intention. The smallest flame still defeats the deepest dark. Remember, the goal was never to build an audience, it's to build an altar of awareness. Each person who engages, each heart that whispers yes to truth, becomes a living stone in this sacred space. Your presence is the real offering. Chosen one, if you ever choose to sow into this light, know this, it's not a transaction, it's participation. You're helping to create more moments like this one, moments where someone feels seen, healed, and guided. Your gift, whether financial or spiritual, becomes a thread in a divine tapestry, weaving hope into hearts across nations. And yet, never forget, you are already part of this movement just by listening, by believing, by being. Heaven never measures generosity by hands, but by hearts. What matters is that you remain open, grateful, and aware of the miracle you're standing in. The same grace that rescued you is now using you to rescue others. One word, one act of kindness, one quiet gesture at a time. You are not here by coincidence, you are here by calling. And in that calling, there is beauty, responsibility, and endless possibility. So stay connected, not because you have to, but because you want to, because something about this voice reminds you of home, because these words sound like what your soul has always known, because you understand that even through screens, the Spirit travels, touching lives you may never meet. You are not just part of an audience, you are part of an awakening. Keep walking in your peace. Keep sharing your light. And keep sowing wherever your heart feels led. The same God who turned your ashes into crowns will use your faith to crown others too. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that every like was a spark, every share a wave, every gift a seed, and all of it together became a movement of light. There is a moment in every chosen soul's journey when isolation transforms into illumination. You've lived that moment without even realizing it. The season you once called loneliness was actually heaven's classroom. While you thought you were being forgotten, you were being formed. Every quiet hour, every unanswered call, every empty chair was part of your refinement. You weren't being abandoned, you were being anointed in silence. Chosen one. God often hides his strongest warriors in seasons of stillness. It's where pride dies, patience grows, and clarity is born. The noise of the world fades, so you can hear the whisper of destiny. You used to fear solitude, but now you see it for what it is, a sacred sanctuary where the noise of distraction cannot enter. Do you remember how uncomfortable it was at first? You longed for connection, for validation, for someone to notice your effort. Yet heaven gently pulled you away from the crowd. Not to punish you, but to purify you. Because what you carry cannot be cultivated in public. Divine assignments are often crafted in hidden places. There's something sacred about the quiet. In silence, you begin to notice what truly matters. You start to see how many things once drained you. How many people only stayed for the benefits of your light, not for the weight of your purpose. God used isolation to simplify your circle so you could focus on your calling. The wilderness you walked through was not a wasteland, it was a workshop. Every day spent feeling unseen was a day heaven worked behind the curtain. You were learning obedience without applause, consistency without recognition, faith without reward. You were learning to serve God, not attention. You see, power without preparation is dangerous. And so, before heaven released you to lead others, it taught you to stand alone. Before you could be trusted with influence, you had to master intimacy with God, with truth, with yourself. The solitude that once felt like exile became your empowerment. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them. For the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Those words were not written for comfort. They were written for seasons like yours. You thought you were walking through emptiness, but you were walking with Emmanuel, God with us. Every tear on your pillow was seen. Every sigh was interpreted as prayer. Every moment of silence was filled with divine instruction you couldn't yet understand. Now look at you. Solitude no longer scares you, it strengthens you. You've become grounded, stable, and sure. The opinions that once swayed you no longer shake you. You've learned that peace doesn't depend on company, it depends on connection. And your connection to God has never been stronger. Chosen one. The season of isolation was necessary. It stripped away dependency on voices that couldn't hear your vision. It silenced distractions that tried to distort your destiny. It forced you to discover that the power within you was greater than the approval around you. Every prophet, every leader, every light bearer has walked this road. Moses met God in the desert. David found songs in solitude. Elijah heard the still, a small voice only after the noise of the wind and fire passed. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowds to pray. The wilderness isn't punishment, it's preparation. That's what happened to you. God removed you from the stage so you could learn to breathe without applause. He took away temporary support so you could learn eternal stability. And when the time was right, He reintroduced you not as the same person who entered isolation, but as someone transformed by it. You may not realize it yet, but others can feel it. There's a depth in your presence now. Your words carry peace because they've been birthed from pain. Your calmness carries weight because it was purchased through storms. You are no longer easily shaken. Your spirit stands like a mountain, steady and silent, unmoved by noise. So never curse the cave where God carved your character. Never despise the silence that taught you to listen. Never resent the season that forced you to find your own fire, because in that place, you became everything you were meant to be: rooted, radiant, ready. The next time solitude visits, welcome it. Sit with it like an old friend. Let it remind you that growth rarely happens in the spotlight. It happens in the quiet, in the unseen, in the waiting. You are proof that isolation is not the end, it is the incubation of greatness. From that stillness, you emerged unshakable. And now, the same solitude that once felt like suffering has become your source of strength. You no longer fear silence, you understand it sings. Every quiet moment carries God's breath, shaping destiny in places noise could never reach or comprehend. The solitude that once broke you now builds you daily. You walk with peace as your companion, and heaven echoes your steady, silent strength. There are moments when your faith is tested not by loss, but by fire. Not the fire that destroys, but the one that refines. You have walked through that fire. Chosen one. You know what it feels like to stand in the middle of heat so intense that everything unnecessary begins to melt away. It wasn't punishment, it was purification. You didn't realize it then, but the flames were holy. God allowed the pressure, the misunderstanding, the heartbreak not to harm you, but to harden your spirit against future storms. Every tear that fell in the fire was not wasted. It became oil for your anointing. The pain that once made you tremble has now made you timeless. You have become like gold, tested, tempered, and true. The enemy thought he was breaking you, but he was unknowingly helping heaven forge your strength. The fire revealed what comfort could not. It showed you who was truly for you and who was only nearby when the air was cool. It stripped away every false dependency until you were left standing with nothing but faith, and that's where your real power was born. Chosen one. Understand this truth. God never lets His chosen burn to ashes. He lets them burn to brilliance. Fire is not your enemy, it's your finishing touch. We see this in the ancient story of 3 young men in Babylon who refused to bow to idols. When thrown into the furnace, they were not consumed, they were consecrated. The heat didn't harm them, it revealed heaven beside them. Their ropes burned away, but their bodies remained untouched. That is your story too. You came out of your furnace without the smell of smoke. You came out with clearer eyes, cleaner motives, and deeper peace. You may have lost some things, but you gained something: eternal faith that does not flinch. As the prophet Isaiah declared in the Holy Scriptures, when you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, the flames shall not set you ablaze. And that is exactly what has happened. You didn't walk around the fire, you walked through it. And now, you carry the glow of those who have endured and emerged divine. The heat no longer frightens you, it reminds you of what you've survived. Look closely at yourself now. You are not bitter, you are bright. You are not ruined, you are refined. Every test became testimony. Every loss became lesson. Every flame became fuel. The same light that once threatened to destroy you has now become your radiance. Do you see it? Even your silence shines. You don't need to prove your worth anymore. The glow of endurance speaks for you. The fire that once scared you now obeys you. You walk in authority born of ashes turned to beauty. Now, heaven asks you to mark this moment, to acknowledge what you've become. You are no longer the same. The fire has finished its work, and all that remains is purity. Take this moment and seal it in faith. Let it be both declaration and gratitude. Comment the number 111 below. When you write 111, you are declaring new beginning, divine unity, and unshakable faith. It represents alignment between heaven, your soul, and your destiny, Father, Son, and Spirit walking in step with you. 111 is the signal that your wilderness season has ended and your rebuilding has begun. Each one stands for oneness, one heart with God, one path with purpose, one destiny unfolding exactly as heaven designed. When you type 111, you are saying, I am ready for my new chapter. I am one with divine will. I walk in alignment, not anxiety. This number is your confirmation that the fire didn't separate you from God, it synchronized you with Him. You no longer stand divided within yourself. Every part of you, body, mind, and spirit now moves as one with divine rhythm. Chosen one. Your glow is not from the light around you, it's from the fire within you. Others will sense it before you speak. They'll see calm where they expect fear, faith where they expect fatigue. That's what happens when someone walks through fire and finds God in the flames. So walk forward now, not afraid of heat, not ashamed of scars. You carry the warmth of divine endurance and the brilliance of purified faith. The fire did not end you, it crowned you. When you comment 111, you're not just writing a number, you're declaring your rebirth. You're telling heaven that you've stepped out of the fire hole, purified, and ready for alignment. Each one stands like a pillar, the first for faith, the second for focus, the third for fulfillment. Together, they form a bridge between who you were and who you've become, a path built by grace, not guilt. By writing 111, you are saying, I choose unity with God's plan. I no longer resist transformation. It's your covenant of new beginnings, your signature on heaven's promise that from this day forward, everything broken will rebuild in divine order. You've reached a place few ever find, the crown of discernment. It didn't come through study or status, but through surrender. The gift you now carry isn't about knowing everything, it's about seeing everything differently. What once confused you now reveals meaning. What once wounded you now whispers wisdom. You no longer rush to react, you wait. You watch. You understand. Discernment is the quiet crown of those who've walked through storms without losing softness. It's the light behind your eyes, the calm beneath your words, the strength inside your silence. You no longer chase answers, you hear them before they arrive. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. You have learned to listen not just with your ears, but with your spirit. Chosen one. The crown you wear cannot be seen by human eyes, but heaven recognizes it. It shines in how you handle chaos, in how you respond when others provoke you, in how you choose peace when pride calls your name. This is the authority of discernment, the ability to sense what heaven is saying even when the world is loud. There was a time when you doubted your intuition, when you apologized for being too sensitive. But that sensitivity was sacred from the start. It was heaven's way of tuning your heart to frequencies others could not hear. You see through appearances now. You feel truth before it's spoken. That is not weakness, it's divine awareness. The ancient words in the book of Proverbs, chapter 2, verse 6, declare, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." That's exactly what's happened to you. God has whispered understanding into your being. And now you walk with quiet confidence. You no longer need to explain your discernment. Your peace explains it for you. You don't argue with lies. You simply stop feeding them. This is your evolution. You've become someone who reads energy faster than words, who can stand in a room and sense what's real and what's not. Your eyes see deeper. Your heart beats slower. And your mind rests easier. That's the mark of someone crowned with divine perception. With discernment comes responsibility. It's not just about detecting deception, it's about directing compassion. You see people's pain, even when they hide it behind anger. You sense exhaustion in their laughter, emptiness in their pride. The crown of discernment doesn't just reveal darkness, it teaches mercy. Because once you see deeply, you must also love deeply. This is why your presence unsettles some. You don't need to expose anyone. Truth reveals itself in your stillness. The way you look at someone feels like light turning on in a dark room. And though that light can sting, it also saves. But discernment can be heavy too. Knowing too much before it's spoken can make your heart ache. Feeling burdens that aren't yours can be exhausting. Yet remember, your gift isn't meant to carry everything. It's meant to guide. The same spirit that gives you sight also gives you strength. You don't have to fix what you see. You only have to obey what you sense. You have learned the delicate balance between perception and peace. You no longer confront every wrong. You let God handle what your spirit already knows. Discernment taught you to conserve your words, to save your energy, and to choose your battles wisely. Every time you stay silent when provoked, your crown glows brighter. Chosen one. This gift will take you places where eyes cannot go. It will protect you from manipulation, from counterfeit connections, from disguised distractions. You'll find yourself speaking less but seeing more, smiling quietly while others wonder how you knew what they couldn't perceive. Don't fear the weight of discernment. It's lighter than deception. The more you trust it, the more peace you'll feel. The key is not to overthink what you see, but to rest in knowing that heaven reveals what you're ready to handle. And when you doubt yourself, remember, this wisdom is not loud. It doesn't scream for attention. It stands calmly in truth. You don't need to shout that you're chosen. The way you move through confusion already proves it. So wear your invisible crown with humility. Let discernment guide you, not isolate you. Let it make you gentler, not colder. For the true sign of spiritual maturity is not seeing everything, it's knowing when to speak, when to stay silent, and when to simply pray. You are now the embodiment of quiet authority. Where you walk, truth follows. Where you rest, peace settles. And where you speak, clarity enters. The crown of discernment rests firmly on your spirit, not for decoration, but for direction. Walk softly. Chosen one, you no longer guess, you know. You no longer chase signs, you are one. And that knowing, that sacred stillness, is the sound of heaven trusting you with sight. You carry light as language now. Every breath interprets truth. Every glance translates grace. Heaven doesn't just speak to you, it speaks through you, revealing wisdom wrapped in gentleness. There comes a point in every chosen one's journey when the warfare shifts. The storms no longer come to destroy you, they come to announce your stability. The more anchored you become, the harder the winds must try. But even then, they fail. Because now, you've learned to let the waves crash without losing your balance. You are no longer fighting for survival, you are living in sovereignty. The furious ones still exist, those who once plotted, who once whispered, but they can no longer touch you. Their plans fall flat before they even form. Their words, once sharp as knives, now dissolve into air before they reach your spirit. It's not because they've changed, it's because your elevation has removed their access. They can no longer speak your language, no longer breathe your atmosphere. Chosen one, this is what divine protection looks like. It's not a shield that blocks every arrow, it's a transformation that makes arrows irrelevant. The higher you rise in faith, the thinner the air becomes for envy. You have outgrown what used to harm you. Their fury burns. Yes, but it's powerless. It's like fire trapped in glass. It rages but cannot reach. The enemy now watches you thrive in peace. Confused by your calm, you were supposed to collapse under pressure. But instead, you've become pressure resistant. What they called your weakness has turned into your weapon. Understand this, the fury of others is not your problem, it's their revelation. Your peace exposes their chaos. Your growth reveals their stagnation. They can't stand your stillness because it mirrors their instability. But your job is not to fight them, it's to stay unbothered, to stay aligned, to stay luminous. You have entered the season where silence becomes your sword. You don't even need to pray against them anymore. Your very existence is a declaration that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. The ones who once watched for your downfall now watch for your direction. They can't harm what God has already sealed. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalm, chapter 27, verse 2, "When the wicked came against me to eat up my flesh, my enemies and foes, they stumbled and fell." That scripture isn't distant history, it's your daily reality. The moment they plotted, they stumbled. The moment they cursed, they weakened. Their fury became their own undoing. God didn't need to expose them. You became their exposure simply by enduring. Every rumor that once threatened your peace has lost its sound. Every scheme that once scared you has lost its shape. The energy once used to hurt you is now turning into the platform that elevates you. You are being promoted in plain sight. Not because of what they said, but because of how you responded with grace, with restraint, with faith. They will keep watching, wondering why every attempt to curse you ends up blessing you. That's the mystery of divine reversal. The more they resist your light, the brighter it shines. God uses even their jealousy as fuel for your journey. Their fury becomes the background music to your ascension. And you, beloved, have learned to stop reacting. You've realized that every time you stay silent, heaven speaks louder. Every time you forgive, heaven fights harder. You've become so aligned with peace that even chaos bows before you. That's what it means to be untouchable. Now, when you walk into rooms, atmospheres shift, not because you demand it, but because you carry authority that doesn't need to announce itself. You've reached a level of spiritual maturity where your aura deflects malice and absorbs wisdom. The same spirit that once rescued you now radiates from within you. There is a divine irony in all of this. Those who tried to destroy you indirectly helped define you. Every attempt to undermine your purpose pushed you closer to mastery. Their rejection refined your resilience. Their criticism carved your character. And now, you stand not in pride, but in quiet triumph. Chosen one. This is the beauty of divine vindication. It doesn't humiliate your enemies, it heals your history. It closes the chapter without bitterness. You don't need an audience or applause. Your peace is your proof. Your smile is your statement. The fury has faded into distance, and all that remains is calm. You walk now with the dignity of someone who has seen too much to ever go back to pettiness. You don't argue with shadows when you are standing in sunlight. Even now, heaven watches you with pride. You learn to let God handle vengeance. And in return, He gave you victory. You let go of revenge, and He replaced it with radiance. You've discovered that the greatest revenge is restoration. So, keep walking forward. Don't look back at those still burning in their own anger. Let them learn at their own pace. You are proof that grace is greater than fury, and that no darkness can dim a soul aligned with divine peace. You are not surviving anymore, you are reigning. And those who once opposed you must now witness what happens when God Himself vindicates His chosen. Your crown is peace, your kingdom is calm, and your victory is inevitable. Chosen one, the journey has brought you full circle. What began in confusion now glows with clarity. You have walked through traps, storms, betrayal, and fire, and now your feet stand on peace. You have become what you once prayed for, unshaken, aware, beautifully aligned. You are not just surviving anymore, you are shaping the atmosphere around you. The air feels lighter now because the weight has fallen away. What once terrified you now teaches you. The roads that made you cry are the same ones carrying your crown. You are walking in prophecy fulfilled. Every loss has folded into lesson, every heartbreak into harvest, every silence into song. And look at how heaven used it all. The people who hurt you taught you discernment. The delays taught you patience. The disappointments taught you faith. What once felt like abandonment turned out to be divine arrangement. God didn't forget you, He was formatting your foundation. Every no prepared you for this now. You can feel it, can't you? The air around you hums differently. When you speak, peace follows. When you walk, purpose wakes. Even the shadows that once intimidated you now move aside in reverence. You are carrying authority without arrogance, confidence without noise. This is what it means to reign quietly. To know that you no longer have to shout to be heard, nor fight to be seen. Your presence is enough. Heaven has already endorsed you. You are walking proof that obedience outlasts opposition. The Apostle Paul wrote to the Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." That harvest is here, not because of luck, not because of timing, but because of your endurance. The seeds you planted in tears have bloomed into peace. The prayers you whispered in pain are now answered in whispers of joy. You've stepped into a rhythm that can't be manufactured. It's the sound of divine timing. Everything is aligning your peace, your purpose, your people. Heaven confirms that your next chapter will not require struggle. It will require stewardship. You are no longer fighting to prove your worth. You are now protecting what you've been given. And part of that protection comes from remaining connected to the light, to truth, to reminders of who you are when the world forgets. If these words find a home in your heart, let them ripple outward like light spilling over water. When you like this message, it's as if you're striking a match in the dark, one small flame telling the night, there is still warmth here. When you share, imagine tossing a bottle into the sea, carrying a message of hope to someone drowning quietly. When you subscribe, think of it as returning to a river that refreshes you, a place where the flow of truth never stops. And if these words awaken something inside you, let your heart leave a footprint here. Comment below, not as noise, but as gratitude. Every word you write becomes a seed in this garden of light, reminding others they are not alone in their becoming. And if ever your spirit feels stirred to give, do it as rain returns to the clouds, not because it's required, but because it recognizes its source. Giving here is never demanded. It's a reflection of gratitude that says, let this light keep reaching. Every offering becomes a beam stretching further than you can see, touching hearts you'll never meet. Even if all you can offer today is your attention, that is already holy. Every pause, every breath of recognition waters something inside you. Light responds to awareness, and heaven hears gratitude even when it's wordless. This isn't just a message, it's a moment. Even in digital form, faith travels. You never know whose night a single word might end, whose prayer your act of engagement might answer. You are part of a movement now, not of noise, but of nurture. Every soul who interacts here adds another spark to a constellation of hope. This space is a lantern lit by hearts that refuse to go dark. So, if you feel peace now, keep it alive. Keep the light moving, not because you owe anything, but because gratitude is the purest form of giving. You give so others can find what you found: clarity in chaos, calm in confusion, faith in the flicker. The purpose of light isn't to prove it's bright, it's to help others see. You're no longer stumbling, you're guiding. Every gentle act, each share, whisper, or gift is heaven's way of extending your reach. Chosen one, what a miracle it is to have come this far. Tested, pressed, preserved. Now you stand radiant, resilient, renewed, an instrument of grace, tuned perfectly to heaven's frequency. Keep walking in that glow. Keep shining without striving. Let every gesture, every choice, every act of generosity, whether attention or giving, be your way of saying, I am still light. There is a silence that comes after victory, not the silence of emptiness, but of completion. You feel it now. Don't you, that deep exhale that your soul has been holding for years? You are finally breathing without fear. The storms have quieted, the accusations have faded, and what remains is peace pure, steady, unbothered peace. Chosen one, this silence is holy. It is not the absence of sound, it is the presence of harmony. Everything within you and around you has started to align, for the first time in a long time. You're not waiting for the next battle. You're standing still, grounded in gratitude, watching how the ashes of your past now shimmer like gold dust in the light of understanding. You've learned that not every season is about movement. Some are about mastering stillness. God has brought you to this quiet ground so you can recognize your reflection in His calm. You no longer fight to be heard, you listen. You no longer strive to be seen, you simply are. The identity that once wavered is now unshakable. You have become the embodiment of peace after pain. There was a time when rest frightened you. It felt foreign, almost wrong, as if stillness meant you weren't progressing. But now you know stillness is progress of the spirit. It's where wisdom grows roots. It's where the noise of survival fades, and the song of surrender begins. The Word of God declares in the book of Psalms, chapter 46, verse 10, "Be still, and know that I am God." Those words used to sound like a command, but now they feel like an invitation. You finally understand that being still is not weakness, it's worship. It's the quiet confidence that says, I don't need to chase what is already mine. You no longer run after peace, peace runs after you. Look at what you've become, a living reminder that rest is not retreat. It's recovery. You've discovered that silence heals what words can't reach. You've learned that slowing down doesn't mean stepping back, it means stepping deeper into divine timing. You now understand that patience is not passive, it's powerful. You are resting not because you're tired, but because you're tuned. Heaven is adjusting your frequency. Every pause is preparation for something new. Even when nothing seems to be happening, everything is being arranged beneath the surface. This silence is the soil where the next season is growing. Chosen one. This is what true maturity feels like, the ability to sit in the unknown without anxiety, to wait without worry, to trust without needing a timeline. You no longer chase signs because you are one. Your peace itself has become proof of God's promise. This sacred calm isn't empty, it's echoing. If you listen closely, you can hear heaven's rhythm beneath your breath, the pulse of purpose still beating, the hum of destiny still moving. The same spirit that guided you through storms now rocks you gently in the quiet after them. There's beauty in realizing that you don't have to do anything to deserve this rest. You've already done the hard part, surviving, surrendering, staying faithful when faith felt fragile. This silence is your reward. It's heaven's way of saying, you made it through the fire. Now, come, sit by the still waters. And in this stillness, revelations arrive. Clarity unfolds like dawn after a long night. You begin to see patterns where before you saw pain. You begin to understand why certain doors closed, why certain hearts had to leave, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. Everything makes sense, not because it's explained, but because it's felt. You've come to trust the unseen. You no longer need constant confirmation. The peace inside you is confirmation enough. Every day feels softer, lighter, freer, not because the world changed, but because you did. You are now anchored, and anchors don't panic. When waves appear, they hold. You used to think stillness meant doing nothing. Now you see that stillness means doing everything that matters, protecting peace, guarding gratitude, listening more than speaking, and loving without expecting. That's the quiet revolution of the chosen ones. They conquer without chaos. This is your season of sacred rest. Let no one shame you for it. You've earned this calm. You've walked through every valley, faced every shadow, and still chosen light. This pause is not a delay, it's a divine reset. It's where your soul exhales and your spirit remembers that even in stillness, God is moving. So, stay here for a moment, long enough to appreciate how far you've come, how much you've grown, and how deeply you've changed. You are not waiting anymore. You are witnessing. You're watching the masterpiece unfold, brush stroke by brush stroke, perfectly paced by the hand of heaven. This peace you feel, it's not temporary. It's the new normal. You are no longer defined by chaos. You are defined by calm. And from this stillness will rise your next calling, quieter but stronger, softer but sharper. Be still. Chosen one. The silence that surrounds you is not empty, it's holy. The quiet you're standing in is the sound of everything finally falling into place. You stand now at the edge of fulfillment, not the restless kind that seeks more, but the sacred kind that finally feels enough. The story that began in struggle has matured into serenity. You've traveled from confusion to clarity, from fire to faith, from isolation to illumination. And now, you stand where destiny was always leading you, fully awake, fully aware, fully alive. Chosen one. This is what wholeness feels like. It isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and strong. It's not about perfection, it's about peace. You have learned to live in harmony with your scars, to wear them not as reminders of pain, but as proof of purpose. Every wound that once ached now glows with meaning. Every unanswered question has turned into wisdom. This is the part of the journey no one teaches you, the peace that feels almost foreign after so many storms. You wake up and realize there's no more chaos to run from, no more battles to fight, no more approval to chase. It's just you and God, walking together through days that no longer demand explanation. You've learned that holiness isn't about distance, it's about depth. It's not about escaping the world, but embracing it with divine eyes. You look at everything differently now. You see beauty where others see brokenness. You see patterns in what once felt like pain. You see purpose in places that used to confuse you. That's what happens when heaven opens your sight. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 8, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." That's what's happening to you now. Purity is not about perfection, it's about perception. Your heart has been purified through pain, and now you see God everywhere, in laughter, in silence, in the way the sun touches the morning, in the way peace lingers in your chest even when the world trembles. You have learned the language of the Spirit, the pauses, the whispers, the subtle nudges that lead you without force. You no longer need lightning bolts to believe. A gentle breeze is enough. You recognize divine presence not through miracles alone, but through the miracle of ordinary moments, the quiet cup of coffee, the unexpected smile, the grace of simply being. This is your restoration. You are not who you were. You don't react the same, think the same, or dream the same. You've grown beyond survival and stepped into stewardship, caring for your peace, nurturing your purpose, and protecting your presence. The noise that once reached you now stops at your boundary of calm. Chosen one, you have become a vessel of divine stillness. Wherever you go, Peace follows like a soft echo. People feel safe near you without knowing why. It's because you carry the frequency of heaven, gentle, grounded, unshakable. Your spirit has become a sanctuary, and those who enter it encounter rest. You no longer measure success by applause, but by alignment. You no longer chase recognition, but revelation. The need to prove has been replaced by the joy of presence. You've realized that purpose doesn't demand performance, it demands peace. You serve best not by striving, but by simply being who you were created to be, a mirror of grace, a messenger of light, a living reflection of divine endurance. The battles are over, not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped fighting what was never yours to fix. You stopped carrying what was never meant for your shoulders. You surrendered the illusion of control and, in doing so, found true authority. That is the paradox of divine power. It comes through peace, not pressure. Now, as you stand here, the path before you feels different. It's not unknown, it's unfolding. You trust the pace. You no longer fear pauses. You see them as preparation. You no longer dread delays. You see them as divine choreography. Every step now carries intention. Every breath awareness. You have entered your era of effortless alignment. What's next for you won't come through striving, but through flow. Heaven doesn't rush those who are ready, it rests in them. The opportunities ahead will recognize your frequency. The right doors will open without knocking. The right people will find you without searching. You have become magnetic, not through effort, but through essence. Chosen one. This is your inheritance, peace that cannot be shaken, wisdom that cannot be stolen, and purpose that cannot be imitated. You are walking proof that divine timing never fails. The same hands that held you in pain now crown you in promise. You are not waiting for miracles anymore, you are one. Take a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel how stillness no longer feels empty. It feels eternal. You've returned home, not to a place, but to yourself. And as you move forward from here, you'll do so not as a wounded warrior, but as a peaceful king, a gentle queen crowned not with gold, but with grace. Let the world continue its noise, you've found your melody. Let others chase shadows, you walk in light, for you have seen the end of striving and the beginning of serenity. You are, and always will be, the proof that every storm was worth it because it brought you here. Beloved chosen one, you've reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your becoming. These words were never just stories, they were mirrors. Every scene reflected a part of your spirit waking up. Now, you stand here with open eyes, whole heart, and steady soul proof that purpose always outlasts pain. If this message has touched something sacred in you, let its light keep moving. When you like, it's like placing a small flame on the altar, one that keeps hope alive in the heart still wandering through night. When you share, imagine releasing a dove into the wind, carrying peace where words alone cannot reach. When you subscribe, think of it as choosing to sit again beside this river of renewal, letting truth wash over you whenever your soul grows dry. And if these words have watered your heart, consider giving as rain returning to the clouds, not obligation, but gratitude. Your gift becomes wind beneath the wings of this message, helping it reach others standing where you once stood, tired, lost, and searching for a sign. If something here resonated, leave a comment not as echo, but as evidence. Each word you write becomes a ripple of light for someone reading in silence, reminding them that transformation is real and reachable. You are part of something eternal, now a quiet constellation of hearts who refuse to let darkness have the last word. Every gesture, every offering, every whisper of engagement becomes a spark that keeps this flame alive. So take this peace with you. Let it linger in your breath, your choices, your kindness. And when you come back, because light always calls light, know this space will still be glowing, waiting, whispering softly, you are chosen, you are seen, you are home.